In this lesson, we'll look at nearby sharing. Nearby sharing is similar to iOS's AirDrop, if you've ever used that with a newer iPhone or iPad device. With nearby sharing, files and websites can be shared using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connections. To do so, they need to use the Windows Share tool, and nearby sharing needs to be enabled on the device you're trying to share to. Microsoft Edge and File Explorer are apps that would probably be the main ways you would use this. Of course, other apps like the Photos app or Microsoft Store can also use Share to send something to another device. Let's see how this works. Let's say I have a coworker that needs an Excel spreadsheet that I have, or maybe they just want a copy of a photo that I have on my device. I could attach it to an email, or I could do something using OneDrive, but this new option lets me simply send it directly to their device. On this device, I select the file in File Explorer. On the Share tab, I hit Share, and a Share pane comes up, and it scans for nearby devices, among other things, that could receive the file. Now, of course, I could also right-click the file and select Share from there. Here I can see a computer name, and this is the coworker's laptop. So I'll select it, and now I can see that I'm waiting for my coworker to accept the file. Notice I can cancel the send at any time. Now this invite will only last for a few seconds, so they'll need to respond before it expires. Jumping over to their device, I can see that a notification of the file being shared appears, and they can select Save and Open, Save if they want to look at it later, or they could decline the file. In this case, we'll just select Save, and the location the file was saved is indicated. Again, they can choose Open or Open the folder if they want to work with this right away. But the file is now on their device, and this was an awful lot easier than sending an email or messing with OneDrive, especially if the file wasn't in OneDrive to begin with. Now, to use nearby sharing, there's a few conditions. Both devices need to have nearby sharing enabled, and this feature currently is just limited to Windows 10 devices running at least the April 2018 update. Now, I could see this ability easily extending to other devices like iOS and Android smartphones running Microsoft apps that would enable this feature, probably in the not-too-distant future. Let's look a little bit closer at nearby sharing on your device. In your Action Center, you have a quick action button that actually turns this on and off. But let's look at the Settings app to see all of the settings that are available for this feature. If we open the Settings app, we can go to System, and then Shared Experiences. Now, Shared Experiences contain settings that also manage sharing things between other devices that you sign into with your Microsoft account. For example, Windows 10 has had the ability to allow you to share a website you're looking at on your smartphone to a computer you're signed into with the same Microsoft account. Now under Shared Experiences, we have the settings for nearby sharing. And again, an important detail to keep in mind is that you do not have to be signed into the other device with your Microsoft account when using this tool. Again, we have the on-off switch here, and this again is what the quick action button is toggling. But below this, we have some other options to manage. For example, in some cases, it might be preferable to limit a device to only interact with other devices you manage with your Microsoft account. In most cases, though, to use nearby sharing, you want to have this set to everyone. As we saw earlier, both users need to be involved to share and accept files. So having this enabled will not mean someone can remotely take control of your device, for example. You could compare it to plugging in a USB drive to your computer. The file being shared could contain malware. So just like you should only use a USB drive from someone you trust, you should only accept files shared to you from someone you trust. Down here, we can also manage where files are saved to by default. So you won't be prompted to point to a save location when using nearby sharing. You can still open the folder and rename or move your file, but the purpose of the feature is to make this as quick and easy as possible. Some tips to consider when using nearby sharing. When sharing, only the computer name is indicated. You won't see the person's name that's associated with the file being shared or received. So you might find it easier to share if your computer or device has a recognizable name, rather than just some generic name that might have been associated with it initially. To quickly check the name of your computer and even change the name, right-click your Start button and select System. The Settings app will open to System and About. Your device name is shown, and if you want to change it, select Rename this PC. Now, before the name is actually changed, your device will need to reboot. Nearby sharing isn't limited to sharing a single file in File Explorer like we showed earlier. There's actually quite a few ways you can use nearby sharing. You could share multiple selected files at once. You could share a photo directly from the Photos app. And you can also share a website URL from Edge, just to give you some examples. Should you leave nearby sharing on all the time? It really depends on how often you use it. Having this enabled will use your Bluetooth and possibly your Wi-Fi connection, so it could be an issue if you're trying to extend battery life and you only want these turned on when needed. Again, using the Quick Actions button, it's very easy to toggle this on and off as needed. Nearby sharing works best when sharing large files if your Wi-Fi is used. Otherwise, the transfer speed can be very slow because Bluetooth only is being used, which just has a slower transfer speed. Devices should be on the same private network to optimize the transfer speed using Wi-Fi. In this lesson, we've looked at nearby sharing. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson.